You are alive right now. You can see this screen. You can hear a voice in your head as these words land. But here's the unsettling part. Science still cannot explain why you experience any of it. Your brain is a dense network of billions of neurons, firing electrical signals in total darkness. And yet, somehow from that silence comes memory, fear, love, imagination, comes the feeling of being you. We've sent machines beyond our solar system. We've mapped our DNA, split atoms, and measured the age of the universe itself. And still, there are questions that refuse to give us answers. Invisible forces, unsolved disappearances, phenomena that exist but won't explain themselves. The deeper we look, the stranger reality becomes. And that leads to a quiet, uncomfortable question. If we understand so much about the universe, why do its biggest mysteries still live in the dark? There's something uniquely captivating about mysteries, especially those that remain unsolved. They pull at the very fabric of our curiosity, often becoming more intriguing with time. No matter how much progress we make, no matter how advanced our technology becomes, there's still questions that resist answers, mysteries that seem just out of reach. Tonight, we embark on a journey through some of the most mind-boggling mysteries that science still cannot explain. Phenomena that exist in the quiet spaces of human knowledge, where reason and wonder collide. We live in an age where science has brought us closer than ever to understanding the universe. We've mapped the human genome, sent probes to distant planets, and unlocked the secrets of the cosmos. Yet certain questions still linger in the shadows, evading the brightest minds and most powerful tools. From the farthest reaches of space to the depths of the human mind, there are mysteries that not only challenge our understanding of the world, but also of ourselves. The quest for knowledge has been a defining feature of humanity since the dawn of time. Ancient civilizations looked to the stars, shaping myths and philosophies that reflected their deep desire to understand their place in the universe. Even today, we turn our eyes to the heavens, searching for meaning, for patterns, for signs of something greater. And in this search, we find questions that continue to perplex us. Questions about the nature of existence, about time, space, consciousness, and the very fabric of reality itself. The mysteries we'll explore tonight are more than just puzzles to be solved. They're windows into the unknown, spaces where science and the human spirit meet. For each mystery we uncover, we also encounter a question that science cannot yet answer. How is it that, with all our advancements, some things still lie beyond our comprehension? Perhaps it is the very nature of these mysteries that makes them so captivating. The idea that, despite all we know, we are still surrounded by the vast, unfathomable unknown. One of the most profound mysteries lies in the question of consciousness. What does it mean to be aware? To be conscious? While scientists have made incredible strides in understanding the brain, the very essence of what it is to be you, to experience life from a first-person perspective, remains one of the greatest enigmas of all. We have a map of the brain, but we do not yet have the key to unlock the secret of awareness itself. What happens in the brain when we are awake, when we dream, when we experience the world around us? These are questions that continue to baffle researchers, leaving us to wonder, is consciousness something we can fully understand, or is it destined to remain one of life's greatest mysteries? Similarly, when we look at the universe beyond our planet, we encounter the unknown at every turn. The discovery of dark matter and dark energy has shown us that the vast majority of the universe remains invisible to our senses. We know it's there, but we can't see it, touch it, or measure it directly. Instead, we infer its presence from its gravitational effects on galaxies and other cosmic structures. Dark matter makes up most of the mass in the universe, and yet we have no idea what it actually is. Could it be that the universe is filled with hidden forces, energies, and entities that we are simply unable to perceive? Then there are the countless mysteries of the Earth itself, mysterious phenomena that challenge our understanding of history, science, and nature. Take the Bermuda Triangle, for example. Countless ships and planes have disappeared there. some leaving behind only strange reports of unusual weather or strange phenomena. Science offers explanations, pointing to magnetic anomalies, weather patterns, and human error. Yet, despite all the rational theories, there's something about the Bermuda Triangle that continues to stir the imagination, a sense that perhaps there's more to the story than we can explain. Is it possible that the natural world holds secrets that are beyond our comprehension? Perhaps something we simply cannot yet detect or understand. Throughout history, humanity has been fascinated by the unknown. From the ancient Egyptians and their construction of the Great Pyramid to the mysterious disappearance of the lost colony of Roanoke, the past is riddled with stories that have never been fully explained. Even today, the search for ancient knowledge continues to draw us in. The Voynich manuscript, an illustrated book written in a language no one has ever deciphered, is just one example of a mystery that science has yet to crack. Could it be that the answer to this riddle is beyond our current linguistic or cryptographic capabilities? Or is the true meaning of the manuscript something more profound, perhaps something that transcends mere language? As we dive deeper into these mysteries tonight, we will explore the theories that scientists and scholars have proposed to solve them. We'll look at the evidence, the data, the attempts to decode what seems indecipherable. And yet, for each theory, we'll encounter new questions that reveal the limitations of our understanding. It's as though the mysteries themselves are taunting us, always just out of reach, always just beyond the horizon of our knowledge. In some ways, these mysteries serve as a reminder of the vastness of the universe and the limits of human understanding. We may have come far in our quest for knowledge, but as we probe deeper into the unknown, we are constantly reminded that there is still so much we don't know, so much we may never know. This realization, however, is not a source of despair. On the contrary, it's what drives us forward. The allure of the unknown is a powerful force, and it pushes us to explore, to ask questions, to seek answers, even when we know they might be just out of reach. So tonight, as we journey through some of the most baffling mysteries science can't solve, we invite you to embrace the unknown. Let the questions we explore tonight stir your curiosity. Let them spark your imagination. And perhaps, let them remind you of the vast, mysterious world that exists just beyond the edges of our understanding. As we move from one mystery to the next, we will find ourselves confronted with the beauty of the unknown, the sense that, despite all we've learned, the universe is still a vast, wondrous place filled with questions waiting to be explored. It is in the exploration of these mysteries that we find meaning. And perhaps, in some strange way, it is the very unanswered questions that make life all the more fascinating. So let us begin our journey into the great unknown, where science meets mystery, and where the answers we seek might just be the beginning of something even more extraordinary. As we delve into these enigmas, let us remember that sometimes the greatest mystery of all is not the question itself, but the journey it takes us on. Consciousness, the very essence of what it means to be alive and aware of oneself, the world, and the passage of time, is one of the most profound and elusive mysteries in both science and philosophy. It is something we all experience every moment of our lives, yet despite being so intimately familiar with it, we're no closer to understanding how consciousness arises or why it exists in the first place. How can an organ like the brain, a complex network of neurons firing signals, create something as subjective and rich as the experience of being you? Why do we perceive the world in the way we do? And why is consciousness, the thing that gives us our sense of self and awareness, so difficult to pin down? Science has made incredible strides in unraveling the mysteries of the physical world. We've mapped the human genome, we've explored the depths of outer space, and we've even begun to manipulate the very building blocks of life. And yet, when it comes to consciousness, we seem to have reached an impasse. The more we learn about the brain and the nervous system, the more we realize that while we can explain how the brain works, we are still far from understanding why it gives rise to conscious experience. Philosophers have long pondered the nature of consciousness, with some suggesting that it is a fundamental aspect of reality, something that exists beyond the material world of neurons and synapses. The philosopher René Descartes famously declared, "I think, therefore I am," suggesting that consciousness, or the ability to think, is the very foundation of existence itself. For Descartes, consciousness was proof that we are real and that we exist. But while his statement might seem simple, it raises even more questions. If thinking proves our existence, then what is the nature of this thinking? What is the experience of thought itself? And why does consciousness feel so uniquely personal? Modern science has sought answers through the study of the brain, and some progress has been made in understanding the neural correlates of consciousness, the specific brain regions and networks that are active when we are awake, aware, or engaged in thought. For instance, studies of brain activity have shown that when we focus on something, certain areas of the brain light up in ways that correlate with our conscious awareness. But these findings, while fascinating, only address the how of consciousness, not the why or the what. One of the most puzzling aspects of consciousness is what is known as the hard problem, a term coined by philosopher David Chalmers. The hard problem of consciousness is the question of how and why subjective experiences, known as qualia, arise from physical processes in the brain. Qualia refer to the unique, personal qualities of our experiences, like the feeling of tasting chocolate, the color red, or the sensation of pain. These experiences are deeply subjective. No one else can feel or truly understand your qualia in the way that you do. So, how do the firing of neurons and chemical reactions in the brain translate into these rich, personal experiences? This is the question that remains stubbornly unanswered. Some scientists and philosophers argue that consciousness must have a physical explanation. They believe that if we can map the brain completely, if we can understand the intricate dance of neurons and synapses, we will eventually unlock the secret to consciousness. This viewpoint is often associated with the materialistic view of the mind, the idea that consciousness is merely the result of physical processes in the brain. According to this theory, once we fully understand the brain's mechanics, consciousness will simply be a byproduct of those processes, like the sound of a machine whirring or the flicker of a light. However, this view raises its own set of challenges. If consciousness is simply the result of physical processes, then why do we experience it at all? Why isn't consciousness just an illusion, a trick of the brain to help us navigate the world? And if consciousness can be reduced to just neurons firing, why does it feel so personal, so real? For many, this materialistic view seems to fall short of explaining the true nature of conscious experience. It doesn't explain why it feels like something to be aware, why we have a sense of self, or how we can reflect on our thoughts. On the other end of the spectrum, there are those who argue that consciousness is not a byproduct of the brain, but a fundamental aspect of reality. This is the idea of panpsychism, which proposes that consciousness is a basic property of all matter, not just of complex brains. In this view, even atoms and particles might possess a kind of rudimentary consciousness. While this idea sounds strange and counterintuitive, it raises intriguing possibilities. Could consciousness be an intrinsic feature of the universe, like space, time, and mass? Could it be that we, as humans, are simply experiencing a higher form of this universal consciousness? If so, what does that mean for our understanding of the mind and our place in the cosmos? Theories like these offer an alternative to the purely physicalist view of consciousness, but they also introduce new mysteries. If consciousness is indeed a fundamental aspect of the universe, why don't we perceive it in everything around us? Why do we only experience consciousness in certain forms, like humans and perhaps some animals? And what are the implications of such a worldview for the nature of reality itself? Could it mean that consciousness is everywhere, subtly influencing the world in ways we cannot yet understand? Despite these varied theories, there is still no consensus among scientists and philosophers about the true nature of consciousness. Some believe that we are simply too limited in our current understanding of the brain and the universe to answer such questions. After all, in the past, there have been many mysteries that seemed unsolvable, until new technologies or new ways of thinking emerged. Perhaps, in the future, we will have the tools and insights to finally crack the enigma of consciousness. For now, however, consciousness remains one of the greatest mysteries of human existence. It is the very thing that makes us who we are, the thing that allows us to feel, to think, to love, to dream. It is the thread that connects us to the world around us. Yet it is also what makes us distinctly individual, separate from everything else. In a sense, consciousness is both the most intimate and the most distant mystery of all. We live with it every day, and yet we are no closer to understanding its true nature than we were thousands of years ago. As we continue to explore the mysteries of the universe, perhaps the greatest mystery of all is the one that lies within us. Consciousness is not just an enigma of science and philosophy. It is the enigma of being. And while we may never fully understand it, the quest to uncover its secrets is a journey that will continue to shape our understanding of ourselves, of the world, and of the very nature of reality itself. The mystery of consciousness invites us to reflect on what it means to be human, to be alive, to be aware. It is a question that transcends the boundaries of science, philosophy, and even religion, touching on the deepest aspects of existence. Perhaps, in the end, the mystery of consciousness is not something to be solved, but something to be experienced and cherished, a reminder of the complexity and wonder of life itself. At the heart of our universe lies a realm so strange, so unfathomable, that it seems to defy all the logic and reason we rely on in our everyday lives. This is the quantum realm, where particles behave in ways that seem utterly impossible, bending the rules of classical physics and revealing a reality that is anything but intuitive. In this microscopic world, the fundamental nature of existence is written in uncertainty, and the laws of the universe become a vast web of possibilities rather than certainties. Quantum mechanics, the branch of physics that governs this strange domain, reveals a world that is as mysterious as it is profound, where particles can be in two places at once, where information can travel faster than the speed of light, and where the very act of observing something can alter its outcome. At first glance, the world of quantum mechanics seems like something straight out of a science fiction novel. Yet, the more we delve into it, the more we realize that these bizarre phenomena are not just theoretical ideas. They are real, observable effects that govern the behavior of matter at the smallest scales. This is a world where nothing is truly certain, where probability reigns supreme, and where the lines between reality and imagination blur in ways that challenge our understanding of what is possible. One of the most perplexing aspects of quantum mechanics is the concept of superposition. In the quantum world, particles don't exist in one specific state until they are observed. Instead, they exist in a superposition of all possible states, a kind of quantum uncertainty that defies our classical understanding of reality. It's as though, until we look at them, particles exist in multiple places at once, in multiple states of being. This idea is famously illustrated by the thought experiment known as Schrödinger's cat, a paradoxical situation in which a cat in a sealed box can be both alive and dead at the same time, until someone opens the box and observes it. This is a strange and uncomfortable idea, one that shakes the very foundations of how we think about existence, life, and reality itself. Superposition is not confined to thought experiments. It is a real phenomenon. In experiments with particles, such as electrons or photons, scientists have shown that these particles can exist in multiple states simultaneously. For instance, an electron can be in two places at once, or a photon can travel through two different paths at the same time. It is only when we measure or observe the particle that it chooses one state, collapsing the superposition into a single, definitive outcome. But until that moment, the particle exists in all possible states, a wave of probabilities rather than a fixed reality. This strange behavior challenges our very understanding of time and space. In the classical world, objects are either here or there, and they move along a predictable path. But in the quantum world, particles can be in multiple places at once, and the act of observation itself plays a crucial role in determining their location and behavior. This raises the question, if reality is not defined until it is observed, what does that mean for the nature of existence itself? Is the world around us merely a collection of potentialities waiting to be realized? Or is there something more substantial at play, something that we cannot yet perceive? Another mind-boggling phenomenon in the quantum realm is entanglement, which Albert Einstein famously referred to as spooky action at a distance. When two particles become entangled, their states become linked, so that what happens to one particle instantaneously affects the other, even if they are separated by vast distances. This means that if you change the state of one particle, the other particle will instantly change, regardless of how far apart they are. This phenomenon appears to defy the speed limits set by the theory of relativity, which states that nothing can travel faster than the speed of light. In the quantum world, however, entangled particles seem to communicate with each other instantaneously, as though distance and time have no meaning. Entanglement has been demonstrated in numerous experiments, with particles remaining connected in ways that seem utterly impossible by classical standards. In one famous experiment, physicists sent two entangled photons in opposite directions, and when the state of one photon was altered, the other photon responded instantly, as if it knew what had happened. This raises profound questions about the nature of space and time. If particles can be connected in this way, does it mean that our understanding of causality and distance is incomplete? Could there be deeper layers of reality, hidden just beneath the surface, that we are only beginning to understand? These phenomena, superposition and entanglement, are just the tip of the iceberg in the quantum world. Quantum mechanics also reveals that particles don't follow the smooth, predictable trajectories we expect in classical physics. Instead, they move in ways that are fundamentally probabilistic, their paths determined not by certainty, but by chance. Quantum particles can even tunnel through barriers that they should not be able to cross, according to classical laws. This phenomenon, known as quantum tunneling, occurs when particles pass through energy barriers that, in the classical world, would be insurmountable. The famous example of this is in the process of radioactive decay, where particles escape from the nucleus of an atom by tunneling through a barrier that they shouldn't be able to pass. Quantum tunneling also plays a role in modern technology. It's the principle behind the operation of many semiconductor devices, including transistors, which form the backbone of computers and other electronic devices. This process, though central to much of the technology we take for granted today, is deeply strange and counterintuitive, as it allows particles to break through barriers that classical physics tells us they should never be able to cross. At its core, quantum mechanics reveals a universe that is not as predictable or deterministic as we might have thought. Instead, it is a universe governed by uncertainty, where probabilities rule and the very act of observation can change the outcome of events. It is a universe where logic seems to break down, where particles can exist in multiple states, where distances can be traversed instantaneously, and where cause and effect become far more fluid and enigmatic than we could have ever imagined. For all its strange and counterintuitive features, quantum mechanics has been incredibly successful in explaining the behavior of matter at the smallest scales. It has given rise to numerous technological advancements, from lasers to quantum computers, and it continues to be the foundation of much of modern physics. But it also leaves us with profound questions about the very nature of reality, the role of the observer, and the limits of human knowledge. Is the universe truly as chaotic and uncertain as quantum mechanics suggests? Or is there some underlying order we have yet to uncover? As we push the boundaries of our understanding and delve deeper into the quantum world, we are confronted with a reality that is both humbling and awe-inspiring. In this strange realm, the impossible becomes possible, and the very nature of existence is up for grabs. The more we learn, the more we realize that our understanding of the universe is still in its infancy. The mysteries of the quantum world are not just puzzles to be solved. They are invitations to rethink everything we thought we knew about the nature of reality, time, and space. The quantum realm reminds us that the universe is far more mysterious and complex than we can ever fully comprehend. It challenges our assumptions, bends our logic, and forces us to confront the limits of human understanding. Yet, in that very challenge, there is beauty, a beauty that lies in the endless possibilities of the unknown, a beauty that invites us to explore further, to question more deeply, and to remain open to the wondrous, mind-bending mysteries that await us in the uncharted depths of the quantum world. The Bermuda Triangle, an area of the Atlantic Ocean bounded by the points of Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, is one of the most enduring mysteries of our time. It has captured the imagination of countless individuals for decades, fueling theories, myths, and legends about strange disappearances, unexplained phenomena, and uncharted forces lurking beneath the surface of the sea. Ships, planes, and even entire crews have seemingly vanished without a trace, disappearing into the vast expanse of the ocean with little to no explanation. Yet, despite the numerous theories and investigations, the Bermuda Triangle remains an enigma that has defied all attempts to fully explain it. What is it about this region that causes so many to question the very nature of our understanding of the world? It is not only the mystery of disappearances that fuels the intrigue around the Bermuda Triangle, but also the eerie, almost otherworldly nature of the events that seem to unfold within it. From sudden shifts in magnetic fields to reports of strange, unexplainable weather phenomena, many who have crossed the threshold of the Bermuda Triangle describe an unsettling feeling that something extraordinary is at play. For those who have survived close encounters or lived to tell the tale of a mysterious disappearance, the stories remain etched in their memories forever. Strange, almost supernatural events that defy all logic. The earliest accounts of unexplained disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle can be traced back to the early 20th century. One of the most famous incidents occurred in 1918 when the USS Cyclops, a massive naval ship, vanished while en route from the island of Barbados to Baltimore. The ship, along with its crew of over 300 men, disappeared without a trace, leaving behind no wreckage or signs of distress. This event, along with several other notable disappearances in the region, soon became part of the folklore surrounding the Bermuda Triangle. Yet the mystery truly took hold of the public imagination in 1945 when a group of 5 U.S. Navy bombers, known as Flight 19, disappeared during a training mission over the Atlantic. The aircraft, which were on a routine navigation exercise, became disoriented and lost contact with the control tower. After a frantic series of communications, all 5 planes vanished without a trace, as did the search and rescue plane sent to find them. The disappearance of Flight 19 remains one of the most baffling incidents in the history of aviation, and it only deepened the intrigue surrounding the Bermuda Triangle. How could a group of highly trained pilots, along with their aircraft, simply vanish in a thin air? Could there be something about the region itself that caused these strange disappearances? While the Bermuda Triangle is often portrayed as a place of supernatural mystery, there are numerous theories that attempt to explain the phenomenon from a scientific standpoint. One popular explanation involves the region's geography and its impact on the magnetic field. The Bermuda Triangle is one of the few places on Earth where the magnetic compass, a vital tool for navigation, can behave erratically, leading to what some describe as magnetic anomalies. These anomalies could potentially cause ships and aircraft to lose their bearings and navigate off course, leading to confusion and, in some cases, disaster. In addition to magnetic anomalies, there is the possibility of sudden and violent weather phenomena that could contribute to the disappearances. The Bermuda Triangle is located in an area prone to violent tropical storms and hurricanes. One of the most well-known weather-related explanations for the disappearances is the theory of rogue waves. These massive, unpredictable waves, sometimes as high as 100 feet, are capable of sinking even the largest ships in mere moments. Rogue waves are thought to form when the forces of wind, tide, and ocean currents come together in such a way that they create a massive, towering wave. While they are rare, their destructive power is undeniable, and they could easily explain some of the mysterious disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle. Another scientific explanation involves the presence of methane hydrate deposits on the ocean floor. These deposits, which are made up of frozen methane gas, are thought to exist in large quantities under the waters of the Bermuda Triangle. When disturbed, these methane deposits can be released into the water, potentially causing a sudden decrease in the water's density. This could, in theory, cause ships to sink almost instantaneously without warning. The sudden release of methane gas could also contribute to the formation of a fog that disorients pilots and sailors, leading them off course and into danger. Despite these scientific explanations, the Bermuda Triangle remains an area where the line between fact and mystery blurs. Even with the many theories and attempts to rationalize the strange events that occur there, something about the region seems to defy our understanding of the natural world. Some have suggested that the Bermuda Triangle is a kind of portal or doorway to another dimension, where the laws of time and space no longer apply. This theory, though deeply speculative, resonates with those who seek a more fantastical explanation for the Bermuda Triangle's mysteries. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Bermuda Triangle is the frequency of strange reports and anecdotal accounts from people who have crossed the region. Survivors of mysterious encounters often tell stories of encountering unusual lights in the sky, of seeing objects that seem to defy the laws of physics, and of experiencing time distortions or lost time. These accounts, while difficult to verify, add to the aura of mystery that surrounds the area. Some have even suggested that the Bermuda Triangle may be home to a hidden extraterrestrial presence, pointing to the numerous UFO sightings and reports of unusual phenomena in the region. While there is no concrete evidence to support these theories, the idea of an otherworldly connection adds yet another layer of intrigue to the Bermuda Triangle's enigmatic nature. What makes the Bermuda Triangle such a compelling mystery is not just the strange disappearances and unexplained events, but the feeling that something much greater is at work in this part of the world. Whether it's the force of nature, the power of magnetic anomalies, or something even more unfathomable, the Bermuda Triangle represents a place where the ordinary laws of physics and logic seem to break down. It is a reminder that even in our modern age of scientific discovery, there are still places on Earth that remain cloaked in mystery, regions where reality itself seems to shift and bend in ways that we cannot fully comprehend. Yet, for all the scientific explanations and theories, the Bermuda Triangle remains unresolved. Even with the most advanced technology at our disposal, the region continues to confound and mystify, offering no clear answers to the questions that have lingered for decades. The disappearances, the strange phenomena, and the reports of uncanny experiences continue to fuel the imagination of those who seek to understand the unknown. The Bermuda Triangle, it seems, is a place where logic and reality are stretched to their limits, leaving us to wonder if there is more to the story than meets the eye. In the end, perhaps the Bermuda Triangle is not just a mystery of the physical world, but a symbol of the larger unknowns that still elude human understanding. It is a reminder that there are still places on Earth where science has not yet fully ventured, where our grasp of the natural world is still limited, and where the answers to life's greatest questions may remain hidden beneath the surface of the sea. The Voynich manuscript, a book shrouded in mystery for centuries, continues to baffle historians, linguists, and cryptographers alike. This peculiar text, written in an unknown language and filled with bizarre, often surreal illustrations, has defied every attempt at translation and decoding. Even after over 600 years of scholarly attempts, no one has been able to unlock its secrets. The manuscript's origins, its meaning, and its purpose remain elusive, leaving us with more questions than answers. What is it about this mysterious book that has captivated the minds of so many, and why does it continue to defy explanation? Discovered in 1912 by rare book dealer Wilfred Voynich, the manuscript has become one of the most famous unsolved mysteries in the world. The book is composed of approximately 240 pages, most of which are filled with an indecipherable script that appears nowhere else in the world's written languages. The text is written in a flowing, elegant hand, but despite numerous efforts by experts from a wide range of fields, linguistics, cryptography, history, no one has been able to make sense of it. The language seems to follow its own unique set of rules, one that bears no resemblance to any known language, ancient or modern. It is as if the manuscript was written in a code so complex, so far removed from anything we understand, that it has remained impenetrable for centuries. But it is not just the text that is puzzling. The illustrations in the Voynich manuscript are equally perplexing, and they add to the book's aura of mystery. The images include strange, often fantastical depictions of plants, some of which do not resemble any known species. There are illustrations of women in various poses, seemingly performing rituals or bathing in bizarre, otherworldly settings. There are also diagrams of astrological symbols, odd creatures, and even what appear to be futuristic or alchemical images, none of which seem to make sense when viewed through the lens of historical or scientific knowledge. The overall effect is that of a book that contains knowledge of some ancient or hidden world, one that remains lost to time. The origins of the manuscript are shrouded in uncertainty. Some scholars believe that it was created in the early 15th century, while others argue that it could be older. Its first known owner, the aforementioned Wilfrid Voynich, discovered the manuscript in a Jesuit library in Italy, where it had been stored for centuries. Since then, it has passed through various hands, but its true origins remain unclear. The book's history before it arrived at the Jesuit library is a matter of speculation. Some theorists have suggested that it may have been created by an alchemist or a secret society, perhaps one with knowledge of ancient, arcane practices. Others believe it could be the work of a medieval scholar trying to encode forbidden knowledge. Some even speculate that it could have been created by extraterrestrials or some lost civilization with an entirely different system of writing and knowledge. Despite the manuscript's age, the script and the illustrations remain remarkably well preserved. The vellum pages on which the manuscript is written show little sign of deterioration, and the colors in the illustrations are still vivid. This has led some to believe that the manuscript was created for a purpose that transcended the typical use of a book, perhaps as a ritual object, an artifact of great spiritual or intellectual importance, or even as a work of pure art designed to convey complex, hidden knowledge. But what that knowledge might be remains a mystery. The manuscript's cryptic nature has attracted the attention of numerous researchers and enthusiasts over the years, and countless theories have been put forward about its content and origin. One of the most prominent theories is that the Voynich manuscript is a kind of encoded herbal or pharmacological text. This hypothesis stems from the numerous depictions of plants throughout the book, many of which appear to have medicinal properties. Some scholars have suggested that the manuscript was created by a medieval apothecary or healer, recording the properties of various plants and their uses in a secret, encoded language. The strange, otherworldly nature of some of the plants could be the result of the author's artistic license, meant to obscure the true meaning of the text from prying eyes. Another theory proposes that the manuscript is an elaborate hoax, created by a master forger in the 15th or 16th century to deceive collectors and scholars. This theory gained popularity in the early 20th century when some experts speculated that the manuscript might have been the work of a skilled forger, such as the Italian author and alchemist Giovanni de' Medici. According to this theory, the manuscript's bizarre script and imagery were designed to mimic the appearance of ancient knowledge, fooling its readers into thinking they had stumbled upon a long-lost treasure. While this theory offers a more grounded explanation for the manuscript's strange appearance, it does little to account for the manuscript's enduring mystery or its failure to yield any readable content despite centuries of scrutiny. Others suggest that the Voynich manuscript could be a work of mysticism or occultism, created by a secret society to encode esoteric knowledge. Some theorists believe that the text is a kind of ritualistic or alchemical text, filled with hidden messages and symbols that could only be understood by those with a deep understanding of ancient or mystical traditions. The illustrations of women in mysterious baths, strange celestial bodies, and fantastical creatures might all be symbols or representations of spiritual or cosmic truths. According to this view, the manuscript was not meant to be understood by the general public, but rather by a select group of initiates into a secret tradition of knowledge. Perhaps the most intriguing aspect of the Voynich manuscript is the question of why it has remained so resistant to translation. Scholars and cryptographers from around the world have devoted years to cracking its code, yet the manuscript's meaning continues to elude us. In the 20th century, a number of computer scientists attempted to apply modern cryptographic techniques to the manuscript's text, but even with the power of computers, the code has not been broken. Some believe that the text is a cipher so complex that it is simply beyond our current ability to decode, while others speculate that it may not be a cipher at all, but a completely unique language that has no direct correlation with anything we know. Over the years, numerous attempts have been made to decode the manuscript, using everything from statistical analysis to artificial intelligence. But each time, the manuscript remains impervious to our best efforts. In the 1970s, the American linguist and cryptographer William Friedman famously attempted to break the code, but despite years of effort, he was unable to unlock its meaning. More recently, a team of scientists used computational linguistics to analyze the manuscript, and while they were able to identify some patterns in the text, they could not derive any meaningful translation. It is as if the manuscript exists in a world of its own, its secrets sealed by a code that is both ancient and timeless. This inability to decipher the Voynich manuscript has given rise to numerous theories that border on the fantastical. Some believe that the book is not a text to be read in the traditional sense, but an object of contemplation, something to be experienced rather than understood. Could the manuscript be a visual puzzle, its images meant to stir the imagination rather than convey literal knowledge? Others have suggested that the manuscript could be a lost work of alchemy, designed to encode mystical truths that are beyond the comprehension of modern readers. In the end, the Voynich manuscript stands as a testament to the mysteries of the past that continue to elude us. Despite the many theories, the countless hours of research, and the brilliant minds that have tried to decipher its code, the manuscript remains an enigma, an object that is both a key to lost knowledge and a symbol of the limits of human understanding. It is as if the book is a mirror, reflecting not just the mysteries of the past, but our own attempts to unlock the secrets of a world that is far more complex and mysterious than we could ever imagine. The Voynich manuscript is more than just a cryptic artifact. It is a reminder that there are still pieces of the puzzle of history that remain beyond our grasp. It invites us to wonder, to imagine, and to question whether there are truths waiting to be uncovered in the most unexpected of places. Perhaps the true mystery of the manuscript is not its code, but the way it continues to captivate our minds and challenge our understanding of the world. Hidden in the dry, desolate plains of southern Peru, a series of ancient geoglyphs stretch across the land. Large-scale designs that can only be fully appreciated from the sky. Known as the Nazca lines, these intricate, mysterious figures have puzzled scholars, archaeologists, and historians for centuries. The lines, which cover an area of around 50 square kilometers, are an awe-inspiring testament to the ingenuity of the ancient Nazca civilization. Yet, their purpose, creation, and meaning remain one of the greatest mysteries in the history of archaeology. What drove the ancient Nazca people to construct these massive figures, visible only from the sky, and why did they go to such great lengths to make them? The Nazca lines consist of hundreds of geometric shapes, straight lines, and stylized depictions of animals, plants, and human-like figures. Some of the most famous designs include a giant spider, a hummingbird, a monkey, a whale, and a figure that resembles an astronaut. These immense works of art were carved into the surface of the desert floor by removing the reddish-brown iron oxide-coated stones, exposing the lighter-colored earth beneath. The lines themselves vary in length, with the longest stretching over 1,200 feet. The sheer size of the figures, their complexity, and the fact that they can only be fully appreciated from the air have led some to speculate that the Nazca people were in communication with beings from the sky, or that the lines served some cosmic or religious purpose that transcended earthly concerns. The first Western discovery of the Nazca lines occurred in the 1920s, when a commercial flight passing over the area noted the unusual patterns etched into the desert floor. But it wasn't until the 1930s that the true scale of the geoglyphs became clear as aviators flying over the region began to document and photograph the enormous figures. The images were nothing like anything previously seen in the ancient world. There were spirals and triangles, vast lines stretching out for miles, and creatures so large they seemed to touch the heavens themselves. How had these lines been created, and why were they so elaborate? The questions surrounding the Nazca lines grew only more perplexing as scholars began to investigate further. One of the most common explanations for the lines is that they were created by the Nazca people for ritualistic purposes. Archaeologists suggest that the geoglyphs might have had religious or ceremonial significance, possibly related to water and fertility. The Nazca civilization, which flourished from around 200 BCE to 600 CE, lived in a region that was extremely arid, where water was scarce. Some researchers believe that the lines may have been designed as part of elaborate rituals to attract rain, which was essential to their agricultural lifestyle. The figures, with their symbolic representations of animals and plants, could have been offerings to the gods in the hopes of ensuring a bountiful harvest or bringing water to the desert. In this view, the lines are seen as a form of prayer or a way of communicating with the divine. The figures could have been part of an ancient belief system in which the act of creating the geoglyphs was thought to invoke the gods and bring about favorable weather. Some experts have even suggested that the lines were used in rituals where shamans or priests would walk along them, using the lines as guides for meditative journeys or to establish connections with spiritual realms. The massive scale and complexity of the lines suggest that they were not mere decorations but held a deeper, more sacred purpose. Yet, despite this plausible explanation, there are aspects of the Nazca lines that defy easy interpretation. For example, many of the geoglyphs appear to be perfectly aligned with the cardinal directions, and some align with astronomical events, such as the solstices and equinoxes. The precision with which the lines were drawn and their apparent relationship to celestial bodies has led some to hypothesize that the Nazca people possessed advanced astronomical knowledge. The alignment of the lines with the stars, the sun, and other celestial bodies hints at the possibility that these ancient people were not only concerned with earthly matters, but were also trying to communicate with forces beyond our planet. In this context, the Nazca lines become more than just an expression of faith. They become an astronomical calendar, a system for tracking celestial movements, or even a means of connecting with otherworldly beings. Some researchers have speculated that the designs were created to send messages to gods or extraterrestrial visitors, beings from the sky. This theory has fueled numerous fringe ideas, with some suggesting that the lines were created to serve as a kind of cosmic beacon, visible only from above. Could the Nazca people have been attempting to communicate with advanced beings from other worlds? Was the sky a divine realm, and were the lines a means of reaching out to it? The idea that the lines were created to communicate with extraterrestrials is not new. Over the years, the Nazca lines have become a focal point for various UFO theories. The sheer scale of the figures, their geometric precision, and their apparent alignment with the stars have led some to suggest that the lines were intended as signals or markers for visiting spacecraft. The famous depiction of a humanoid figure with an elongated head, sometimes interpreted as an astronaut, has added fuel to these speculations. Could the Nazca people have had contact with extraterrestrial civilizations? And if so, how might they have understood the concept of beings from the sky? While the extraterrestrial hypothesis remains speculative, it cannot be entirely dismissed. The incredible precision and scale of the lines suggest a level of sophistication that goes beyond what one might expect from a culture living in such a remote and harsh environment. The fact that the geoglyphs can only be fully appreciated from the air, something that would not have been possible for the Nazca people themselves, has led some to wonder if there might be more to these mysterious figures than meets the eye. In addition to the religious and extraterrestrial theories, some researchers have suggested that the lines were created as a form of social or political expression. The Nazca civilization, like many ancient cultures, may have used the geoglyphs as a way to mark territory, assert their power, or communicate messages to neighboring groups. The sheer scale of the lines, with some figures stretching for miles, suggests that they may have been designed to be seen from a distance, perhaps as a way of asserting control over the vast desert region or signaling a collective identity. The creation of such massive figures would have required significant organization and resources, and it is likely that the construction of the lines was a communal effort that brought people together for a common purpose. Despite the many theories, there remains no definitive explanation for the Nazca lines. Archaeologists have been able to identify the tools used to create the lines, simple wooden stakes and ropes, but how these ancient people managed to execute such precise, large-scale designs without the aid of aerial technology remains a mystery. Some researchers suggest that the Nazca people may have used the stars as guides or employed simple geometry to map out the lines, but the exact methods they used remain unclear. The mystery of the Nazca lines endures to this day. As scholars continue to study the geoglyphs, new theories and interpretations emerge, but none have been able to fully explain the lines' true purpose. Were they astronomical calendars, religious symbols, messages to extraterrestrials, or something else entirely? The answer, perhaps, lies not in any one theory, but in the combination of all of them. The Nazca lines may have been many things to the people who created them: rituals, signs, beacons, expressions of faith, or even forms of art that transcend time. What we do know for certain is that the lines remain a powerful testament to the ingenuity and mystery of the Nazca civilization, a people who, despite their distance from us in time, left behind a lasting legacy that continues to captivate the imagination of all who encounter it. In the end, the Nazca lines serve as a reminder that there are still deep mysteries in our world that have yet to be solved. The questions they raise about the connection between humanity, the cosmos, and the unknown are just as relevant today as they were when the lines were first drawn thousands of years ago. And perhaps, as long as the desert winds blow over the lines, we will continue to search for the answers to the questions they pose, questions that reach far beyond the earth and into the stars. The legend of Atlantis has persisted for thousands of years, captivating the imagination of countless generations. Described as a magnificent and advanced civilization, Atlantis is said to have existed thousands of years ago before disappearing in a cataclysmic event that left no trace behind. Over the centuries, Atlantis has gone from being an allegorical tale to a subject of intense speculation and search, with explorers, archaeologists, and enthusiasts embarking on numerous quests to uncover its secrets. But the question remains, did Atlantis ever truly exist, or is it merely a myth, a symbol of human ambition and hubris? Despite numerous theories and countless expeditions, the mystery of Atlantis endures, compelling us to consider whether the legend is rooted in historical fact or simply a powerful story passed down through time. The first recorded mention of Atlantis comes from the works of the Greek philosopher Plato, who described the city in two of his dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, written around 360 BCE. According to Plato, Atlantis was a vast island located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, what we now call the Strait of Gibraltar, and it was the largest and most prosperous civilization in the known world. The Atlanteans, Plato claimed, were a powerful and technologically advanced society that flourished for thousands of years before falling victim to their own moral decline. As their civilization became more corrupt and greedy, Atlantis was struck by a catastrophic natural disaster, an earthquake and subsequent flooding that caused the island to sink into the ocean, disappearing without a trace. Plato's account of Atlantis has been the source of much debate. Some scholars believe that he was simply telling a fictional story, using Atlantis as an allegory for the rise and fall of civilizations. Plato was known for employing stories and parables to convey moral lessons, and some argue that the tale of Atlantis was no different. According to this view, Atlantis was not a real place, but a cautionary tale about the dangers of arrogance and the consequences of moral decay. Plato's descriptions of the city's grandeur and its eventual downfall may have been intended to warn his audience about the dangers of pride and excess. However, others believe that Plato's story was based on a kernel of truth, perhaps an actual civilization or event that he had encountered in his travels. The idea that Atlantis was a real, historical place has captured the imagination of many throughout the centuries, leading to numerous theories about its location and its eventual fate. If Atlantis was not just a story, then where was it, and what happened to it? The search for Atlantis has inspired countless expeditions and investigations, with theories ranging from the Mediterranean to the Caribbean and even Antarctica. One of the earliest theories about the location of Atlantis was proposed by the ancient Greek historian Herodotus, who suggested that Atlantis might have been located near the island of Santorini in the Aegean Sea. In the 20th century, this idea gained traction with the discovery of the Minoan civilization, whose sudden collapse around 1450 BCE was thought to resemble the destruction of Atlantis. The Minoans, who lived on the island of Crete, were known for their advanced technology, art, and architecture, much like the Atlanteans described by Plato. Some researchers have suggested that the eruption of the Thera volcano, which led to the destruction of the Minoan civilization, might have been the event that inspired the story of Atlantis. The eruption was so catastrophic that it caused widespread devastation, including massive tsunamis that could have been interpreted as the sinking of an entire island. Other theories place Atlantis in different parts of the world. Some proponents of the idea that Atlantis was a real place have suggested that the lost city might have been located in the Caribbean, specifically in the area of the Bahamas. The Bimini Road, a submerged rock formation near the island of Bimini, has been cited as potential evidence of Atlantis. The formation consists of a series of large, rectangular stone blocks arranged in a linear pattern, resembling the ruins of an ancient road or structure. While most archaeologists dismiss the Bimini Road as a natural formation, it has nonetheless sparked the imagination of those who believe in the existence of Atlantis. Another theory suggests that Atlantis may have been located in Antarctica. This idea gained popularity after the publication of books and articles claiming that ancient maps, such as the Piri Reis map, depicted Antarctica in a way that suggested it had once been habitable. The Piri Reis map, created by a 16th century Ottoman admiral, shows the coast of Antarctica without ice, which has led some to speculate that the continent was once home to an advanced civilization. Proponents of this theory argue that Atlantis could have been located in Antarctica before a dramatic shift in the Earth's climate caused it to become covered by ice. While mainstream scientists reject this theory, citing the lack of any archaeological evidence, the idea of a lost civilization hidden beneath the ice of Antarctica continues to intrigue those who are drawn to the mystery of Atlantis. Despite the many theories, there is no concrete evidence to support the existence of Atlantis. The lack of physical evidence has led some scholars to argue that Atlantis is, in fact, a fictional creation, perhaps inspired by real events, but ultimately a product of Plato's imagination. The absence of archaeological remains, ruins, or artifacts associated with Atlantis makes it difficult to prove that it was anything more than a myth. Yet, the legend of Atlantis persists, and it continues to capture the imagination of people around the world. Some believe that the city's disappearance is not a historical event, but a symbol of humanity's tendency to overreach and fall victim to its own hubris. The story of Atlantis serves as a cautionary tale, warning us of the dangers of unchecked ambition and moral corruption. The idea that a powerful civilization could vanish so completely, leaving no trace behind, speaks to our deepest fears about the fragility of human achievement and the impermanence of even the greatest empires. There are those, however, who continue to search for Atlantis, convinced that the city's secrets are still waiting to be uncovered. In recent years, new technologies, such as sonar scanning and underwater exploration, have allowed researchers to map the ocean floor in unprecedented detail, fueling hopes that the remains of Atlantis might one day be discovered. Some even argue that the story of Atlantis is not a tale of ancient history, but a prophecy, an ongoing cycle of rise and fall that repeats itself through the ages. Could the story of Atlantis be a warning, not just about the past, but about our future? The mystery of Atlantis is more than just a search for a lost city. It is a reflection of our own desires to understand the past and to find meaning in the stories that have been passed down through the ages. The legend of Atlantis speaks to our fascination with lost civilizations, with the idea that there are hidden truths beneath the surface of history, waiting to be uncovered. It challenges us to question what we know about the world and our place in it, and it encourages us to consider the possibility that there are still great mysteries to be solved, whether in the ocean depths or in the forgotten corners of our collective memory. In the end, Atlantis may remain lost, its secrets hidden beneath the waves or lost to time. But the search for it will continue, driven not just by the desire to uncover an ancient city, but by the desire to understand ourselves, to learn from the rise and fall of civilizations, and to grapple with the timeless themes of ambition, greed, and the pursuit of knowledge. The legend of Atlantis is more than just a myth. It is a story that continues to resonate, offering a glimpse into the human condition and the eternal mystery of what lies beyond the horizon. In the quiet, sun-drenched desert town of Taos, New Mexico, there exists a phenomenon that has bewildered and mystified residents and visitors for decades. It's known as the Taos hum, a low-frequency sound that only some people can hear, and one that has caused profound distress for those who are affected by it. The hum is persistent, a constant, low rumble that seems to come from nowhere, filling the air with a sound that can neither be pinpointed nor explained. What makes the Taos hum so unsettling is not just its eerie and inexplicable nature, but the fact that it only affects a small subset of the population. Those who hear it describe a sense of isolation, frustration, and in some cases, profound psychological distress. Despite decades of investigation, the cause of the Taos hum remains one of the most perplexing mysteries of modern times. It all began in the early 1990s, when a group of residents in Taos reported hearing an odd, persistent noise that they could not locate. At first, the hum was thought to be a figment of imagination or perhaps a misunderstanding. But as more and more people came forward with similar accounts, it became clear that something strange was happening. Those who experienced the hum reported hearing a constant, low-frequency sound, a deep, throbbing vibration that seemed to reverberate in the background of everyday life. It was described as sounding like the noise of a large diesel engine idling in the distance, or like the hum of a large industrial machine running quietly in the background. For some, the sound was barely noticeable, a distant thrum that they could tune out. For others, it was more persistent, overwhelming, and maddening. The people who heard the Taos hum were not just residents of Taos. Visitors, tourists, and people traveling through the area also began reporting the same phenomenon. It was as if this low-frequency sound existed in the fabric of the town itself, an invisible force that was both omnipresent and impossible to avoid. And yet, curiously, only a small percentage of the population seemed to be affected by it. While most people in Taos went about their lives without ever noticing the hum, a select few were driven to the brink of insanity by it. Some described feeling a constant pressure in their ears, while others complained of headaches, nausea, and an inability to sleep. The hum seemed to disrupt their lives in ways that were both profound and unsettling, and many sought out medical professionals or scientists in hopes of finding an explanation. As the reports of the Taos hum continued to grow, a variety of theories began to emerge. Some people believed that the hum was the result of a secret military project, perhaps involving underground testing or the use of low-frequency sound waves as a form of psychological warfare. The nearby White Sands Missile Range, a hub of military activity, fueled suspicions that the hum was connected to classified experiments. The idea of using low-frequency sound for covert purposes, known as infrasound, was not new, as infrasound has been used in a variety of military and industrial applications. Some suggested that the hum was a side effect of these experiments, a technological anomaly that could not be easily detected or traced. Others speculated that the sound was connected to the natural environment of the area. Taos is situated near a number of geological features, including large rock formations and fault lines. Some have suggested that the hum might be the result of seismic activity or the movement of minerals beneath the Earth's surface. Could the hum be a natural phenomenon, an acoustic effect caused by the region's geology? Certain rock formations are known to produce low-frequency sounds when subjected to pressure or movement, and some geophysicists have proposed that the hum could be the result of such natural forces. However, this theory doesn't explain why the hum affects only certain individuals and why it seems so localized to Taos and a few other places around the world. One of the most persistent and unsettling theories about the Taos hum is that it is a manifestation of psychological or neurological phenomena. Could the hum be a form of auditory hallucination experienced by individuals who are particularly sensitive to certain frequencies? This theory suggests that the sound may not exist in the physical world at all, but is instead a perceptual anomaly, a sort of collective delusion that only a small percentage of people are susceptible to. This idea is bolstered by the fact that many of the people who experience the hum report symptoms of anxiety, stress, and even paranoia, which could suggest that the hum is a psychological manifestation of heightened awareness or sensitivity to environmental stimuli. In other words, the hum could be a symptom of a larger, unexplained mental or physiological condition that affects only certain people. Despite these theories, none of them have been conclusively proven. In 1993, a team of scientists from the Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory conducted a study in Taos to investigate the hum. They used sophisticated equipment to measure sound levels, temperature, and other environmental factors in an attempt to detect any underlying causes for the hum. However, the study yielded no definitive answers. The hum was present during the tests, but the equipment could not detect any unusual or consistent patterns in the sound. The researchers were unable to pinpoint its source, and the phenomenon remained as mysterious as ever. As time passed, the phenomenon began to take on a life of its own, spawning a variety of theories ranging from the scientific to the supernatural. Some suggested that the hum was related to extraterrestrial activity, with UFO enthusiasts pointing to the area's reputation for UFO sightings and strange phenomena as evidence that the hum might be connected to alien visitors. Could the hum be some sort of signal or communication for beings from another world? Others have speculated that the hum is the result of secret government experiments involving mind control or advanced technologies that manipulate sound waves in ways that are not fully understood. Despite the numerous theories and investigations, the truth about the Taos hum remains elusive. No single explanation has been able to account for all the variables: why it affects only a small percentage of people, why it is so persistent, and why it is so difficult to trace. The phenomenon continues to defy conventional scientific understanding, and it remains a source of frustration for those who hear it. Some people have even moved away from Taos in search of peace and relief from the hum, while others continue to live with the constant, maddening sound that has no apparent cause or explanation. For many, the Taos hum represents the intersection of the known and the unknown. It is a phenomenon that exists on the edge of scientific knowledge, a reminder that there are still many mysteries in our world that remain unsolved. Whether the hum is a product of natural forces, human technology, or something more inexplicable, it highlights the fragility of our understanding of the world around us. The Taos hum is a riddle that continues to perplex and intrigue, a mystery that challenges our assumptions about sound, perception, and the limits of human knowledge. In the end, the hum may never be fully explained. Perhaps it is one of those phenomena that exists in the liminal space between science and the supernatural, a reminder that there are still mysteries waiting to be uncovered. For those who hear it, the Taos hum remains a constant, enigmatic presence, a low, vibrating pulse that will not be silenced, a reminder that some things may never be understood. The Bermuda Triangle, an area of the Atlantic Ocean roughly defined by points in Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, is infamous for its reputation as a mysterious region where ships, planes, and people seemingly vanish without a trace. For centuries, tales of inexplicable disappearances and strange phenomena have captivated the imaginations of the public, earning the Bermuda Triangle a place in both popular folklore and scientific inquiry. From the mysterious loss of Flight 19 in 1945 to the vanishing of countless vessels over the years, the Bermuda Triangle has earned a reputation as a zone of mystery. Despite numerous investigations and theories, the causes behind these strange disappearances remain as enigmatic as ever, sparking debate and intrigue to this day. But what is it about this seemingly ordinary stretch of ocean that makes it the setting for so many bizarre and unexplained events? The earliest reports of strange occurrences in the Bermuda Triangle date back to the late 19th century, but it wasn't until the mid-20th century that the area gained widespread notoriety. In 1945, a group of 5 U.S. Navy bombers, known as Flight 19, disappeared without a trace while conducting a routine training mission over the area. The flight was supposed to be a standard navigation exercise, but something went horribly wrong. The pilots, disoriented and lost, radioed in confusion about their position, and despite efforts to guide them back to base, the planes were never found. A rescue mission was launched, but it too ended in tragedy. One of the rescue planes sent to find Flight 19 also vanished. The disappearance of Flight 19 became one of the most infamous events in the Bermuda Triangle's history and helped to establish the region as a place of danger and mystery. Over the years, the Bermuda Triangle has been linked to a number of other unexplained incidents, both in the air and at sea. One of the most well-known stories is that of the USS Cyclops, a massive U.S. Navy ship that disappeared in 1918 while sailing from the Caribbean to Baltimore. The ship, carrying over 300 men and a cargo of manganese ore, vanished without a trace in the Triangle, and despite extensive searches, no wreckage or bodies were ever found. The disappearance of the Cyclops remains one of the largest non-combat-related losses in U.S. naval history, and it further fueled the idea that something mysterious and dangerous lurked within the Bermuda Triangle. Other reports from pilots and sailors tell of unusual phenomena in the area. Some have claimed to witness sudden changes in the weather, with calm seas suddenly turning violent or clouds forming at extraordinary speeds. Others have described seeing strange lights or feeling a sense of disorientation, as if their navigation instruments were malfunctioning. These experiences, along with the disappearances of aircraft and ships, have contributed to a growing sense that the Bermuda Triangle is a zone of strange and dangerous forces. Over time, the idea that something supernatural or unexplainable was at work gained traction, with theories ranging from extraterrestrial activity to time warps and interdimensional rifts. But what is it about the Bermuda Triangle that makes it the site of so many unusual occurrences? One of the most commonly cited explanations is the region's complex geography and unique environmental conditions. The Bermuda Triangle is located in an area of the Atlantic Ocean that is particularly prone to unpredictable weather patterns, including sudden storms and strong currents. These factors can create dangerous conditions for both ships and aircraft, particularly when combined with the area's relatively heavy air and sea traffic. Some scientists believe that the disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle may simply be the result of navigational errors, sudden weather changes, or mechanical failures, which are more likely to occur in such a busy and turbulent area. Another explanation for the Bermuda Triangle's mystery is the phenomenon of rogue waves, massive waves that can appear without warning in open water and reach heights of over 100 feet. These waves are extremely dangerous and can easily capsize ships or down aircraft caught in their path. Rogue waves are often the result of underwater currents or seismic activity, and they have been responsible for the sinking of ships in other parts of the world as well. Some theorists suggest that the Bermuda Triangle is particularly prone to these waves due to its unique oceanographic conditions. While rogue waves have been observed in many parts of the world, the idea that they could be responsible for some of the disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle remains a subject of debate. The area is also known for its deep-sea trenches, which could play a role in the strange phenomena observed in the region. These trenches, combined with the powerful Gulf Stream current, could cause unexpected shifts in the environment, particularly when it comes to magnetic fields. Some researchers believe that the Bermuda Triangle might be a magnetic anomaly zone, where magnetic fields are unusually strong or erratic. This could cause navigational instruments to malfunction, leading pilots and sailors off course. In this theory, the disappearances are the result of misnavigation, but the magnetic anomalies might make it impossible for search parties to locate the lost vessels or aircraft. In addition to these scientific theories, there are those who continue to entertain more fantastical explanations for the Bermuda Triangle's mysteries. Some have suggested that the area could be a portal to another dimension or a time warp, where ships and planes accidentally slip into an alternate reality. Others point to the possibility of extraterrestrial involvement, with UFOs or alien technology responsible for the disappearances. Theories like these are often more speculative and unprovable, but they add to the mystique of the Bermuda Triangle, making it a rich subject for conspiracy theorists and those interested in the supernatural. Despite the many investigations into the Bermuda Triangle, no single explanation has been universally accepted. What remains consistent across all accounts, however, is the enduring sense of mystery that surrounds the region. Whether the cause of the disappearances is natural, technological, or even supernatural, the Bermuda Triangle remains one of the most captivating and enduring enigmas of modern history. Even as science has provided more grounded explanations, the idea that something extraordinary could be happening beneath the waves of this stretch of ocean continues to intrigue and provoke the imagination. In a world where answers are often within our reach, the Bermuda Triangle is a reminder that some mysteries refuse to be solved. It represents the unknown, the uncharted, and the unexplained, reminding us that there are still vast, unfathomable corners of the world where even our most advanced knowledge cannot provide a definitive explanation. The stories of lost ships and planes, the eerie reports from pilots and sailors, and the unsettling sense that something strange is at work in this region of the Atlantic continue to captivate us, adding another layer to the myth and mystery of the Bermuda Triangle. In the end, whether the Bermuda Triangle is the site of natural anomalies, human error, or something far more strange and inexplicable, it remains a place of fascination, a zone where reality blurs into mystery, and the unknown continues to whisper its secrets from the depths of the ocean. Stonehenge, a prehistoric monument located on the rolling plains of Salisbury, England, has long been the subject of fascination and mystery. The towering stones, arranged in a circular pattern, have stood for over 4,000 years, defying explanation as to their purpose, method of construction, and the people who built them. While its massive, enigmatic presence continues to intrigue, the true meaning of Stonehenge remains elusive. Was it an astronomical observatory, a religious site, or perhaps something more profound, something that connects us to ancient beliefs, cosmic forces, or even lost civilizations? No matter how many theories are proposed, Stonehenge retains its position as one of the most iconic and mysterious sites in the world. The history of Stonehenge begins with its construction, which is believed to have occurred in several stages. The first phase of the monument, dating back to around 3000 BCE, consisted of a circular ditch and bank, known as a henge. It was during this early phase that the first arrangement of smaller wooden posts was erected. Over the next 1,000 years, the site evolved into the megalithic stone structure we recognize today. The largest stones, known as sarsens, were transported from the Marlborough Downs, about 20 miles away, and they weigh as much as 40 tons each. The smaller bluestones were hauled from the Preseli Hills in Wales, nearly 150 miles away. The sheer logistics of moving and erecting these massive stones remain a subject of debate and admiration. How could ancient people, without the aid of modern machinery, have moved such enormous blocks of stone across vast distances? Despite the awe-inspiring engineering feat, the purpose of Stonehenge is not so easily understood. Over the centuries, many theories have been proposed, each offering a different perspective on the monument's meaning and function. One of the most widely accepted theories is that Stonehenge served as an astronomical observatory designed to align with the movements of the sun, moon, and stars. The site's alignment with the summer solstice is particularly striking. Every year, thousands of people gather at Stonehenge to witness the sunrise on the longest day of the year, as the sun appears to rise directly over the heel stone, the large standing stone located outside the main circle. This alignment suggests that Stonehenge was deliberately designed to track the solar year and perhaps mark the passage of time. The importance of the sun in ancient cultures is well documented, and many believe that Stonehenge was a place of worship where ancient peoples would have gathered to honor the sun and its life-giving energy. The alignment with the solstices could have played a crucial role in agricultural cycles, marking times for planting and harvesting. In this context, Stonehenge could have served as a kind of calendar or agricultural tool, helping the people of prehistoric Britain to organize their lives around the rhythms of the natural world. Another popular theory is that Stonehenge was a religious or ceremonial site, a place where people came together to perform rituals and ceremonies, possibly to honor gods or spirits connected to the natural world. Some scholars have suggested that the monument was used for healing based on the discovery of human remains and other artifacts near the site. The blue stones, which were transported from such a great distance, have been the focus of particular attention. Some believe that these stones may have been regarded as possessing special properties, possibly thought to have healing or spiritual significance. The idea that Stonehenge was a site for rituals and healing is supported by the discovery of burials at the site, suggesting that it may have been a sacred place, perhaps even a pilgrimage destination. In addition to its possible religious and astronomical significance, there are theories that suggest Stonehenge was part of a larger network of ceremonial sites. Archaeological evidence has shown that other megalithic structures, such as Avebury, are located in the vicinity of Stonehenge, and these may have been connected in some way. Some researchers have suggested that Stonehenge was a focal point in a landscape of ritual activity, with its surrounding area playing a role in connecting the earth with the heavens. These sites may have been used by prehistoric peoples to communicate with the spiritual world, serving as portals between the earthly and divine realms. The mystery of Stonehenge deepens when we consider the people who built it. Little is known about the exact civilization responsible for constructing this monumental site, and there is much debate about their identity. The society that created Stonehenge was likely part of the Neolithic agricultural revolution, a time when humans were transitioning from a nomadic, hunter-gatherer lifestyle to settled farming communities. The people of this time would have had an intimate relationship with the land and the natural world, and their understanding of the cosmos may have been far more advanced than we give them credit for. One of the most intriguing aspects of Stonehenge is the manner in which it was constructed. Although modern archaeology has provided insights into the methods used, many questions remain. How did these ancient people transport stones that weighed as much as 40 tons, particularly the sarsen stones that came from a distance of 20 miles? Various theories have been proposed, including the use of sledges, ropes, and wooden rollers, but the exact techniques remain speculative. Some researchers have even suggested that Stonehenge was built using knowledge and techniques that have since been lost to history, leaving us with only the remnants of a long-forgotten engineering marvel. The mysterious nature of the monument is compounded by the fact that there are no written records from the time of its construction. This lack of written documentation means that the true purpose of Stonehenge remains a mystery, leaving us to rely on interpretations drawn from physical evidence, oral traditions, and modern theories. The fact that we still have so many unanswered questions about such an iconic structure speaks to the limits of our understanding of ancient cultures and their relationship with the world around them. Over the centuries, Stonehenge has also been a site of myth and legend. In medieval times, it was believed to have been built by the ancient Druids, though there is no historical evidence to support this claim. The association between Stonehenge and the Druids persists in popular culture, where it is often portrayed as a place of ancient, mystical rites. This legend has only added to the monument's mystique, further blurring the line between history and mythology. Even today, Stonehenge continues to inspire wonder and intrigue. Its position on the English landscape, its mysterious construction, and its possible connections to ancient religious and astronomical practices make it one of the most iconic monuments in the world. The fact that so much remains unknown about Stonehenge adds to its allure. Theories may come and go, but the monument itself endures, standing as a testament to the ancient people who built it and the mysteries they left behind. Stonehenge challenges us to think about the past in ways that are not always easy to grasp. It forces us to confront the limits of our understanding of ancient cultures, their beliefs, and their knowledge of the cosmos. The questions surrounding Stonehenge are not just about the stones themselves, but also about the people who created them and the mysteries they may have understood that are now lost to time. As we continue to explore and study this remarkable site, we may come to understand more about its purpose, its builders, and its place in the grand story of human civilization. But no matter what we discover, Stonehenge will continue to be a symbol of the deep and enduring mysteries that still lie hidden within our world. In the arid plains of southern Peru, an extraordinary mystery lies etched into the earth itself, the Nazca Lines. Spanning over 50 miles, these massive geoglyphs are an enigmatic collection of lines, shapes, and figures, some so large that they can only be fully appreciated from the sky. Among the most famous and mysterious of these figures are giant depictions of animals, plants, and geometric patterns, many of which stretch across the barren desert landscape in precise and intricate designs. But what do these lines mean? How are they created? And why, more than 1,500 years after their creation, do the Nazca Lines continue to captivate and mystify archaeologists, historians, and conspiracy theorists alike? Whether considered a feat of ancient engineering or evidence of extraterrestrial influence, the Nazca Lines remain one of the world's most perplexing and awe-inspiring wonders. The origins of the Nazca Lines date back to between 500 BCE and 500 CE, during the height of the Nazca civilization, a culture that flourished in the coastal desert of Peru. The Nazca people are thought to have been skilled artisans and engineers, and their society is known for creating impressive water systems, pottery, and textiles. However, the lines they left behind, created by removing the top layer of reddish-brown rocks and exposing the lighter soil beneath, remain the most striking legacy of their culture. These geoglyphs are not simple drawings, but vast, geometric shapes and intricate figures that can only be truly appreciated when viewed from above. Some of the figures, such as the giant hummingbird, the spider, and the monkey, are so large that it is nearly impossible to comprehend their full scale from the ground. The exact purpose of these geoglyphs, however, remains one of the greatest archaeological mysteries of the 20th century. One of the most commonly accepted theories is that the Nazca Lines were created for religious or ceremonial purposes. Many scholars believe that the lines were used as pathways for religious rituals or processions, possibly related to the worship of deities connected to fertility, water, and the earth. The arid landscape of the Nazca Desert made water a precious resource, and some researchers suggest that the geoglyphs may have been created to honor water gods or to mark sacred sites tied to the region's irrigation systems. The alignment of some of the lines with the sun and stars also suggests that the Nazca people may have used them as part of an agricultural calendar to track the movements of celestial bodies and mark seasonal changes. In this theory, the lines were not meant to be seen from the air, but rather served as a kind of ritual pathway. Pilgrims or priests may have walked along these lines during religious ceremonies, following specific routes in accordance with astronomical events or seasonal cycles. The size and complexity of the lines would then have been a testament to the power and importance of the gods being honored, as well as a reflection of the Nazca people's reverence for the natural world and their deep understanding of its cycles. This view is supported by the discovery of ancient burial sites near the Nazca Lines, as well as the presence of other ceremonial structures that suggest a complex belief system centered around the divine. However, the question of how the Nazca people were able to create such large and intricate designs without the benefit of aerial perspective remains unresolved. How could a culture that lacked flight or even rudimentary mapping tools have conceived of and executed these vast drawings? Some researchers have suggested that the lines were made with the use of simple surveying techniques and basic tools, such as ropes, stakes, and basic geometry. But others point to the apparent precision of the designs and their alignment with astronomical events, questioning whether the Nazca people possessed knowledge of astronomy and mathematics that may have been more advanced than previously thought. As with many ancient mysteries, the question of whether extraterrestrial forces had a hand in the creation of the Nazca lines has captured the imagination of many. Some proponents of this theory suggest that the sheer scale and precision of the lines could only have been achieved with the help of advanced technology, perhaps even alien assistance. The idea that the Nazca lines were created as messages or landing strips for extraterrestrial visitors has been popularized by books and documentaries, particularly the work of Erich von Däniken, who in his 1968 book Chariots of the Gods, suggested that ancient civilizations might have had contact with aliens. Von Däniken proposed that the Nazca lines were designed as markers for UFOs to land, or as messages to extraterrestrial beings, with their vast scale making them visible from the skies. This theory, while intriguing, has been met with skepticism by most mainstream archaeologists and historians. There is no direct evidence to suggest that the Nazca lines were created for extraterrestrial purposes, and many researchers argue that attributing the geoglyphs to aliens detracts from the ingenuity and capabilities of the ancient Nazca people. Nevertheless, the notion of alien involvement continues to persist in popular culture, fueled by the mystery surrounding the lines and their baffling precision. In addition to theories of religion and extraterrestrial intervention, some have speculated that the Nazca lines were created as a form of astronomical observatory or calendar. Some of the lines appear to be aligned with the solstices and other significant celestial events, leading some researchers to suggest that the Nazca people used the lines as markers for these occasions. Others believe that the lines were meant to serve as astronomical calculators of sorts, used to track the positions of the stars, the sun, and the moon, and to predict future events such as eclipses or seasonal changes. The scale and geometry of the Nazca lines may have made them an ideal tool for observing the movements of celestial bodies, enabling the Nazca people to develop a sophisticated understanding of the cosmos. Despite the numerous theories surrounding the Nazca lines, the fact remains that their true purpose has never been definitively established. The mystery of the lines is compounded by the lack of written records from the Nazca civilization, leaving only the geoglyphs themselves as evidence of their existence. While scholars have made significant strides in understanding the culture and history of the Nazca people, the meaning behind these ancient symbols remains elusive. One of the most striking aspects of the Nazca lines is their sheer scale. The largest figures span hundreds of feet, and the total number of lines, shapes, and figures in the desert is staggering. The fact that these lines were created with such precision, and that they have remained so well preserved over the centuries, speaks to the remarkable engineering capabilities of the Nazca civilization. It is clear that the creation of the lines was a massive undertaking, involving careful planning, coordination, and a deep understanding of the land and its resources. In recent years, advancements in technology, including satellite imaging and drone photography, have allowed researchers to explore the Nazca lines in greater detail. These new tools have revealed previously unknown figures and have provided new insights into the methods used to create the lines. Nevertheless, the mystery of why the Nazca lines were created and what they represent remains as compelling as ever. Are they a message from the past, a communication from another civilization, or simply an expression of human creativity and reverence for the natural world? Whatever the answer may be, the Nazca lines continue to intrigue, inspire, and mystify, offering a glimpse into the ancient mind and the mysteries that have persisted through the ages.